everybody, it's Julie. Welcome back to Row & Co Farms. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to talk about 10 pantry staples that you should keep in your pantry that can get you through the rough times, the hard times, and through all your cooking needs. So let's take a look at those 10 things. I have broken them down into categories, not specific as to brand names, but all things that you should be keeping on hand in your pantry. If you can buy them in bulk, even better. So one of the first things that I always keep on hand are different types of oils and fats. So what I have here are, this is lard. I also have chicken fat, duck fat. There's also coconut oil here. We also keep olive oil, multiple different kinds of oils on hand. But I recommend you always keep different oils because you never know what you're gonna need. Butter as well. Keep butter in the freezer if you have a little extra space. So oils is one of those top things. You always need oils to cook things in or to add to things to make other things. So fats, any kind of oils and fats that are shelf stable that you can keep on hand is on the list. Next thing is oats. Oats are shelf stable, they're dry, so you can keep them around for a long time. We buy these in bulk in 25-pound bags. And then we move them into these glass jars for other storage. But oats is the next thing on my list. You can bake with these. You've got cereal, granola, all kinds of applications for oats. Next up is cornmeal. You can make cornbread, corn tortillas, all the corn products that you would use for Mexican dishes, you can make from cornmeal and corn flour. So you can get those. Both of those things are great to keep on hand for those applications. Next thing on my list is salt. I have two different kinds of salt. I keep a gray Celtic sea salt and a Himalayan salt. We don't actually use regular iodized salt here. We prefer these. They're better for you. They have minerals in them as well. So we use those types of salt there. But you always need plenty of salt on hand. So next up are flours. For bread making, baking, all those types of applications, you use your flours. Now, whether you use regular or gluten-free, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that you're keeping what you use on hand at all times. So I have a little bit of both. I have some einkorn flour and I have gluten-free flour, but I do keep at least 20 pounds of each on hand at all times. Next up are your sugars. So again, it doesn't matter what kind, but I do keep several different kinds. I keep regular white sugar, I keep a raw cane sugar, and then we also keep honey on hand. But just pick one and and keep that around. You don't have to get them all at once, but just start with one of those and work up from there. Get the one that you use the most of. Doesn't make sense to buy something that you're not going to use. Next on the list is rice. I have different kinds here, but the main, of course, is just a long grain white rice. Then we have some wild rice here, and then I have the arborio rice that you use for like risotto. So any of those are fine, but stick with something you can buy in bulk. So like a long grain white rice is best for that. Next up on the list is dried beans. Dried beans are a pretty cheap commodity at the store, and they last a long time on the shelf, and they also have a good source of protein. So this is a great item to keep on hand for your family. It doesn't matter what kind, lentils, beans, peas, any of those will do. Just pick one that your family likes. Next up, things to keep on hand, spices. I don't know what kind your family likes, but if you have certain ones that you like, go ahead and stock up on them and keep them around. You don't have to go for 5 years worth, but keep enough for a year. That's always a great kind of benchmark. 6 months, a year, 2 years, something like that. Just pick a time frame that works for you and get enough of what you use in that time frame to keep you sustained. So spices, some good options are garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, chili powder, things like that are good ones to keep on hand. It's also helpful instead of buying stuff like cumin or mustard, you can just buy those in seed form and you can grind them up yourself. All right, last thing on the list are nuts. Nuts are a good source of protein and fat, and so we like to keep those on hand. You can also grind those down and make nut butters with those. So we keep almonds, walnuts, hazelnuts, different things like that. You can do peanuts. Any of those are good to keep on hand. Just keep the ones that your family likes to eat. So these are the items that you should be keeping on hand in your pantry at all times. This will augment your normal cooking. So if you're growing your own food, you've got your own vegetables, you pull those in from the garden, and then you add these things to it to make your complete meal. You can also, if you're growing your own meat or you get something from the store, you're grabbing that meat, that veg, and then you're adding it to these things here to create your final meal. These are the things that make the meal in the end. These are the places where you create your food from scratch, is right here with those beans, the flours, the breads, the spices. This is what pulls it all together in the end. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. I can't wait to see you next time here at Row & Co Farms.